A great deal of medieval art is ugly and weird. Before the stylistic shifts of the Renaissance, art was often unrealistic and fantastical. It included many bizarre and odd scenes. This is perhaps most clearly illustrated in medieval paintings of animals. Animals were everywhere in medieval art. In natural history encyclopedias, next to biblical stories, in coats of arms, and in illuminated manuscripts. But most of these animals look incredibly strange, from cats with human-like faces and misshapen dogs to weird-looking snails and a red depressed leopard. It can sometimes be hard to guess what animals these artists were even portraying. Naturally, the question arises, had the artist ever seen these animals? The people behind these medieval drawings weren't professional artists like the ones from the Renaissance. Most of them were ordinary tradespeople and monks with regular jobs. Therefore, they didn't follow or care for any artistic conventions. Instead, their work was shaped by their own experiences, their own lives, and the popular culture they knew. While we often think we're laughing at these artists, we are instead laughing with them. The art was often meant to be humorous and outlandish to amuse the viewer. For example, medieval people saw rabbits as cute and harmless, so it was funny to draw them performing violent acts. Apes were also a favorite subject of many medieval artists. They were often depicted engaging in human activities and mischievous behavior. In medieval manuscripts and Bibles, tiny drawings were often placed in the margins as small jokes to make the reader smile. The main purpose of these drawings, however, was to convey religious and moral messages to the viewer. The artists were attempting to make Christianity more accessible and easy to understand. Therefore, the most important aspect was what these animals represented in Christian spiritual terms. A lion represented strength and courage, a snake symbolized sin, and cats were seen as examples of deviant behavior. Their untrustworthy nature and ability to see in the dark worried people in the Middle Ages, so cats were often drawn very ugly. Elephants represented devotion, kindness to others, and Jesus Christ himself. The essential thing was storytelling and the symbolism of the animals rather than realism and anatomical accuracy. Since the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century AD, very few Europeans had seen exotic animals such as lions, leopards, and elephants. These animals made rare appearances as diplomatic gifts to kings and popes or as treasures brought back from pilgrimages and crusades. According to legend, Charlemagne, king of the Franks, received an elephant from the Caliph of Baghdad in 1797, while Henry I of England maintained a small zoo with lions, lynxes, and camels. Therefore, most medieval artists had to rely on written accounts and oral traditions when imagining what exotic animals might look like. But this was not a big issue, since realism didn't matter. Animals were used to add humor and convey religious messages.